decades to come.
Rupert Lowe.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I should declare my interest on the register in 2 football-related businesses as a result of my chairmanship of Southampton Football Club. We don't have many success stories left, but English domestic football is one of them. So what do politicians want to do? Regulate it, of course. The biggest beneficiary from the success of the Premier League is HMRC, through tax and national insurance levied on the player wages and staff wages. Money flowing out of the beautiful game. These salaries have correlated closely with the growth of broadcasting income, particularly overseas television rights. Lord Sugar referred to this as the prune juice effect. These salaries have correlated closely with the growth of broadcasting income, particularly overseas television. Sorry, I repeated that. No regulator played any part in laying the foundations of the world's most successful league. English football works and has worked for many decades. My message to you all today is leave it alone. Football is a risk business supported in this country by the most passionate fans in the world. It requires a balance between risk-taking and business savvy if the aspirations of the supporters are to be delivered in the form of entertaining, successful football of which they can be proud. Many of the failures in our game, such as Bury under Hugh Eves and Leeds under Peter Ridsdale, were driven by boards dominated by fans rather than by more logical businessmen. The job of running a smaller club in the Premier League is difficult at the best of times, I should know, when competing with clubs who have substantially greater turnover. A regulator will simply make the job of smaller clubs more difficult and limit their ability to take calculated risks in order to successfully compete, either for promotion, league position or cup success. It's the larger clubs who will benefit, and the dynamic which has driven the Premier League's success will be undermined. I will give way. Did somebody want to give way?
Speaker, is the honourable gentleman really saying that fans' involvement in clubs is a bad thing?
I think the passion of fans can be a dangerous thing if they're on a board, yes. The FAPL success has been driven by the prescient founding formula for financial distribution, ensuring a competitive league. Fans collectively will suffer, and another more innovative league in another geographic region, probably in Asia, will emerge as a leader. You might all feel good about yourselves, but billions and billions of pounds will be driven out of the country. There's no need for a football regulator, or indeed any more wokery in the game, exemplified by the support of a questionable organisation like Black Lives Matter, when the knee was taken before each game. The world's best football meets the world's best virtue signalling. Just last week, I uncovered 2 coaching roles offered by Ipswich and Fulham, both specifically excluding white men from applying. Ipswich made the right choice and removed the racist ad. Fulham have not. These roles have been pushed by the Premier League itself. Match-going fans are overwhelmingly male and overwhelmingly white. They would be surprised to hear that clubs are banning them from applying for certain roles based on their skin colour. Racism is racism, even when white people are on the receiving end of it. I hope that all of us in this House call it out for the wickedness that it is. We must eradicate the poisonous DEI from our beautiful game. Fans attend football to escape all that nonsense. A functional football team is the perfect analogy for any successful society, based on merit and merit alone. Fans don't want ideological lessons from their clubs. They want to watch exciting football, enjoy a beer and have a proper day out. Good for them, I say. All of us here need to leave them alone. Those responsible for this bill must also take full responsibility when the Premier League inevitably wanes as the woke do-gooders perpetrate the damage that history teaches us is inevitable. The Chancellor speaks oxymoronically about trying to revive our financial markets by regulating for growth after the Financial Services and Markets Act of 2000 destroyed London as a centre where capital meets risk. You don't regulate for growth, you deregulate for growth. We do not need this interference by tire-kicking regulators in our national game. Judging by this debate, the Secretary of State for culture, media and sport. Looks like she's pretty handy on the terraces. I say to her, in football lingo, you don't know what you're doing.
Luke Murphy.
It is indeed, Madam Deputy Speaker. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. There's no place I'd rather be than to follow the honourable member whose interesting views on fans being at the fault of the issues in the game were truly enlightening. I'm so pleased to be able to speak in this debate today on the Football and Governance Bill. Gifts from colleagues in the form of interventions to extend my time will be gratefully received. Not just because this bill will protect clubs, empower fans and keep clubs at the heart of their communities, but because it gives me an opportunity after Basingstoke Town's final home game of the season to pay tribute to a wonderful football club and the entire community that surrounds it, supports it and stands by it through thick and thin. It was a delight to see the team get the victory they richly deserved on Saturday by beating the league champions Merthyr Town 4-0. The result secured our position in the Southern League, Premier South, for another season. Madam Deputy Speaker, the Stoke are staying up. But more than that, it was just a joy after a tough season to see the dedicated team who lead and manage the club, the players, the support staff, the volunteers and our loyal fans celebrating after so much hard work. As the manager Dan Brownlee said in his open letter to the fans after Saturday's game, a massive thank you to the staff, volunteers, board and players. It goes beyond match days, endless meetings, endless hours behind the scenes, trying to create the best experience. You would not believe the half of it. It is selfless and it deserves celebrating. From the stewards, the board, the bar staff, the kit room and everyone in between, you are remarkable. To Jack Miller, Liz Lockie, Jackie Meachin, Katie Oliver, Brian and Sarah Parsons, Neil the head steward, Adam Robinson, Aaron Nicholson and so many other volunteers, players and fans past and present. I couldn't agree more. You are remarkable because for all the money, the well-deserved global attention and the sporting excellence of the Premier League, it is the community and the fans around local football clubs like Basingstoke Town that make football truly great. Because football is more than just a sport. It is a source of civic pride, community identity and an economic opportunity. But for too long, the governance and financial model of our game has left clubs vulnerable to mismanagement, unscrupulous ownership and ultimately financial ruin. One stark example of this is the case of Basingstoke Town and its much-loved Camrose ground. The Camrose was gifted to the club by Viscount Camrose in the 1914s and a covenant was placed on the land, restricting its use to football or a sports ground. And for over 70 years, the Camrose was the heart of our town's club, a vital community hub where generations of fans came together to support their team and people of all ages came to play the sport that so much of our nation holds dear. The covenant on the ground, which should have guaranteed a sports facility for the town for another 3 decades at least, was and continues to be blatantly and disgracefully disregarded. In 2016, the then chairman of the club sold the freehold of the Camrose to a company that he owned. Following years of underinvestment in the stadium, he eventually evicted the newly formed community club from the Camrose in April 2019. The move forced the club to relocate to Winchester City FC's ground over 20 miles away, disrupting not only the men's first team, but also the women's team, youth academy, and an array of vital community projects. And then a once iconic stadium that brought pride and opportunities to the town was reduced to a distant memory. Our town and club have lost a historic football ground, we've lost a large sports and community facility, and those responsible have been able to escape accountability and to profit handsomely on what has been a disgraceful episode in our town's history. Basingstoke Town has transitioned since to a 100% fan-owned model, but it's why I'm so passionate about this process, protecting not just fans of EFL clubs, but also protecting those supporting non-league teams like Basingstoke Town. Measures like these, including in the bill, I would like to see to protect clubs at all levels of English football. So I would appreciate any information the Minister can give on how the government will work with the FA to support and regulate non-league clubs, to protect clubs like that in Basingstoke. Stronger governance... I will give way.
thank my friend for giving way. He's making an excellent speech. One of the terrible things that's happened